There's this thing nobody wants to talk about. People whisper about it. Some call it anti-Semitic to even mention it. But here's the reality. Jewish communities have figured out something about money that most other communities haven't. And instead of pretending it doesn't exist or getting defensive about it, let's just look at what's actually happening and see what we can learn from it. Because at the end of the day, this isn't about religion. It's about economic strategy that's been refined over thousands of years. The Jewish circular economy is real. And it's one of the most effective wealth-building systems ever created. Not because of some conspiracy, not because of control or manipulation, but because it's based on principles that actually work. Trust, community support, long-term thinking, keeping money flowing within the group, and most importantly, making sure that when one person wins, everybody wins. Let's start with the most basic concept. Money doesn't leave the community. That's the foundation of everything. When a Jewish businessman needs something, anything, a loan, a contractor, an accountant, a lawyer, office space, the first call isn't to Google. It's to someone in the community. Someone from the synagogue, someone whose family they know, someone they see every week. And that's not favoritism. That's strategy. Here's how it works in practice. A Jewish real estate investor buys a building, 200 units in the Bronx. Big deal. First question, where did that deal come from? Probably a Jewish broker who knows other Jewish investors and brought them the opportunity first. Why? Because there's trust. The broker knows this investor will close, knows he won't waste time, knows if there's a problem, they can work it out face to face because they're in the same community. Now, this investor needs to finance the deal. Who does he call? A Jewish lender, a Jewish mortgage broker, someone who owns a bank or works at one. Why? Because that lender knows him, sees him at synagogue, knows his family, knows his reputation. If something goes wrong, there's accountability. You can't just disappear when you're part of a tight community. Everyone knows where you live, where your kids go to school, who your rabbi is. That social pressure creates reliability. And reliability makes business easier. Now the building needs work. Construction, repairs, snow removal, cleaning supplies, maintenance, property management. Who gets those contracts? Jewish companies, Jewish contractors, Jewish suppliers. Every single vendor, if possible, comes from within the community. And here's where it gets interesting. Those contractors also need services. The construction company needs accounting, legal work, insurance, office space, equipment. And guess what? They're hiring Jewish accountants, Jewish lawyers, renting from Jewish landlords, buying from Jewish suppliers. It's a loop. Money flows from the investor to the broker, to the lender, to the contractor, to the accountant, to the landlord, and it stays within the community. It circulates. It multiplies. And here's the key part. Everyone along that chain is taking 10% of their income, minimum, and donating it to community organizations, synagogues, schools, charities, food banks, hospitals, community centers. That money goes right back into building infrastructure that benefits everyone in the group. Before we go deeper, if you're realizing this is a system you've never seen explained this clearly, hit that subscribe button for Money Trap channel. We break down the economic strategies that actually work, the ones that have been proven over centuries, not the motivational garbage that keeps you spinning your wheels. Let's keep going. So why does this system work so well? 3 reasons. Trust, shared values, and mutual benefit. Let's talk about trust first. In most business deals, trust is the biggest risk. You don't know if the other person will deliver. You don't know if they'll rip you off. You don't know if they'll disappear when there's a problem. That uncertainty costs money. You need contracts, lawyers, insurance, collateral. All of that is expensive and time-consuming. But in the tight community, trust is built in. If you screw someone over, everyone knows. Your reputation is destroyed. Your family is embarrassed. Your rabbi will hear about it. Your kid's school will hear about it. The social cost of being dishonest is so high that most people won't even consider it. And when disputes happen, which they do, there's a system to handle it. Mediators, rabbis, community leaders. People resolve problems internally without going to court, which saves time and money for everyone. Second reason it works. Shared values. Everyone in the system is playing by the same rules. They understand the same priorities. Family, education, community, long-term wealth. They're not trying to get rich quick and burn bridges. They're building generational wealth, which requires thinking decades ahead. When everyone is aligned on values, business moves faster. There's less friction, less miscommunication, less wasted energy. Third reason, mutual benefit. This is the big one. The system only works if everyone actually benefits. If the real estate investor makes money but doesn't hire people from the community, the loop breaks. If the contractor makes money but doesn't donate to community organizations, the loop breaks. But when everyone participates, everyone wins. The investor builds wealth. The contractors get steady work. The accountants and lawyers get clients. The community organizations get funding. The schools get better. The synagogues grow. The next generation gets more opportunities. It's not just individuals getting rich. It's the entire community rising together. And that creates something powerful. A safety net. If someone in the community falls on hard times, loses a job, has a medical emergency, goes through a crisis, the community steps in. Not the government. Not some charity 1,000 miles away. The actual people, the people who benefited from the same system, help you get back on your feet. That's the return on investment for all those donations. Now let's address the obvious question. Is this fair? Can everyone do this? And the answer is yes. Absolutely yes. There's nothing stopping any community from building the same system. Black communities could do this. Latino communities could do this. Asian communities already do this in many places. Immigrant communities do this all the time. It's not unique to Jewish people. It's just that Jewish communities have been doing it longer and more consistently than most. But here's why most communities don't. Lack of trust. Lack of unity. Lack of long-term thinking. People in most communities don't trust each other enough to do business together. They'd rather hire a stranger with a good Yelp review than take a chance on their neighbor. They compete with each other instead of supporting each other. They see someone else's success as a threat instead of as proof the system works. And there's no culture of giving back. People make money and they spend it on themselves. New car, new house, flexing on Instagram. They do not think about building schools or funding community programs or creating infrastructure that helps the next generation. So, the money leaves. It goes to corporations, to people outside the community, and the community stays poor. The Jewish system works because it's the opposite. Money stays in, success is shared. And everyone understands that when your neighbor does well, you do well. Because their donations fund the schools your kids attend. Their business success creates job opportunities. Their wealth creates stability that protects everyone. Now let's talk about the specific principles that make this work. First, you have to prioritize community over individual gain. That doesn't mean you don't get rich. It means you get rich while bringing others with you. You hire from within. You buy from within. You invest in businesses run by people you know. You create opportunities for others because you know those opportunities will come back to you. Second, you have to give back. Not when you feel like it. Not when you're rich enough, consistently. 10% minimum. Every month. No matter what. Even when you're struggling. Because that's how the system stays funded. That's how schools stay open. That's how community programs keep running. That's how the safety net exists when you need it. Third, you have to think long-term. You're not trying to make a quick buck and bounce. You're building something that lasts. That means protecting your reputation, honoring your commitments, treating people fairly, even when you could get away with not doing so. Because in a circular economy, you're going to see these people again. You're going to do business with them again. And your reputation is worth more than any short-term profit. Fourth, you have to value education. Jewish communities spend a ridiculous amount of money on education. Private schools, tutors, religious education, college funds. Why? Because educated people make more money. And when they make more money, they contribute more to the community. It's an investment. You're not just educating your own kids. You're educating the next generation of business owners, doctors, lawyers, accountants, entrepreneurs who will keep the system running. Fifth, you have to create accountability. This is where most communities fail. There's no consequence for screwing people over. Someone takes your money and disappears. You can't find them. Can't hold them responsible. In a tight community, that doesn't happen. Everyone knows everyone. If you mess up, there are social consequences. You lose trust. You lose access. You lose opportunity. And that accountability makes the system work. Now here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people don't want to do this. They want individual success without community responsibility. They want to get rich without helping others get rich. They want the benefits of community without the obligations. And that's why most communities stay broke, while communities that follow these principles thrive. Look at immigrant communities. Chinese, Korean, Indian, Jewish, any tight-knit immigrant group. They do this exact same thing. They pool money for business loans. They hire each other. They support each other's businesses. They live below their means and reinvest profits. And within a generation or two, they're financially stable. Not because they're smarter or work harder, because they have a system. Meanwhile, communities that don't do this stay stuck. Individuals might succeed, but the community doesn't rise. Because every time someone makes money, they leave. They move to a different neighborhood. They stop shopping at local businesses. They stop investing in community organizations. The money leaves and the community stays poor. This isn't about race. It's not about religion. It's about economic strategy. And the strategy is simple. Keep money circulating within your community. Support each other. Hold each other accountable. Think long-term. Give back. That's it. Those 5 principles, consistently applied, create wealth that lasts. But it requires something most people aren't willing to do. Sacrifice. You have to be willing to pay a little more to buy from someone in your community instead of getting the cheapest price online. You have to be willing to give someone a chance, even if they are not the most experienced option. You have to be willing to donate money when you're still struggling yourself. You have to be willing to prioritize the group over yourself. And most people won't do that. They'll say it's too hard. They'll say their community is too broken. They'll say there's too much drama or distrust or history. And they're right. It is hard. Communities are messy. But the alternative is staying broke forever while complaining that the system is rigged. The Jewish economy isn't rigged. It's just organized. And any community can organize the same way if they're willing to put in the work. Start small. Find 10 people who are serious. Business owners, entrepreneurs, people who actually want to build something. Make an agreement. We support each other's businesses. We hire each other when possible. We hold each other accountable. We donate 10% to a community fund that everyone agrees on. That's the beginning. As that group succeeds, others will want in. The circle grows. More businesses join. More money circulates. More opportunities get created. And eventually, you have a system. Not overnight, not in a year, but over time, with consistency, it works. The key is trust. And trust is built through repeated interactions. You do business with someone. They deliver. You deliver. It works. You do it again. It works again. Trust grows. Reputation grows. The network grows. And suddenly, you have something powerful. A community that actually lifts each other up instead of tearing each other down. Now, there are going to be people who hate this video. They'll say it's promoting tribalism or exclusion. But that's not what this is. This is about communities taking care of themselves instead of waiting for someone else to save them. Every successful community in history has done this. It's how you build generational wealth. It's how you create stability. It's how you protect your people. And if your community isn't doing this, that's on you. Not the government, not the system, not some conspiracy. You. Because you have the same opportunity to organize, to support each other, to build something that lasts. But it requires work, discipline, long-term thinking, and a willingness to put the group ahead of yourself sometimes. The Jewish economy isn't a secret. It's not hidden. It's been operating in plain sight for thousands of years. The principles are simple. The execution is hard. But the results speak for themselves. Communities that follow this model thrive. Communities that don't, struggle. So the question is, what are you going to do with this information? Are you going to complain that the game is rigged? Or are you going to learn the rules and start playing? Because the opportunity is there. The strategy is proven. All you need is a group of people willing to commit. If this changed how you think about money and community, share it. Send it to your important one. Send it to someone who's serious about building real wealth instead of just looking rich. And watch the next video pops up on your screen. We are building a community of people who understand how money really works and are not afraid to do what it takes to win. Let's keep going.